One of the many features exclusive to electric cars is the frunk. Yes, frunk as in front trunk. So in addition to the rear trunk, there's also a front trunk for extra storage. Whatever you put in here though, make sure it's wrapped because this thing is not watertight. Typically you'll use this space to keep a car charger, maybe some extension cords for said car charger, or an emergency tire repair kit or something along those lines. I, on the other hand, use it for stinky groceries like raw fish or meat, or for cooling my drinks on the drive home in the winter. Just make sure your drinks don't freeze solid. As I mentioned, there is a more traditional storage space in the back of the car, and it's covered by this flimsy plastic thingy which is totally removable so that you can carry larger cargo such as a 12-pack of paper towels or a thing of toilet paper. As you can see, it's getting kind of full already, but then again, you can always remove the plastic thingy and stack things higher or just lay down the seats for almost triple the space. Now, obviously you're not moving any major furniture in this thing like a couch or a bed, but it's still good enough for daily use, or maybe even a small Costco run. Oh, and by the way, under the trunk floor is where the car internals lie, so you can't put anything there. So definitely not the biggest space. It's much better than any Civic or Corolla thanks to the large opening of the trunk, kind of like a typical hatchback, and that's about it for storage in the i3. It's not bad. Before getting into the cabin, let's first take a look at the frame of this car. It's composed entirely of reinforced carbon fiber, and you can see this all around the edges in black and even on the roof. It's the same material used in the much more expensive i8, and it's what gives this car its lightweight and its super high safety rating. Taking a closer look, you'll notice the absence of a middle or B-pillar. This is also thanks to the fancy and super strong reinforced carbon fiber, which means this car can withstand a side impact while keeping you safe and giving you almost suicide-style doors for the rears, all thanks to this material. Also, while we have this view, notice the side of the front seats. Yes, those are levers. You heard right, this $50,000 plus car has manual seats, even in this top-level trim. Now, before you knock BMW, you have to understand that the objective in designing this type of car is to keep the weight low to keep your electric range high. All those small motors and components required for auto-adjustable seats would only add weight and thus reduce range. That theme can be seen throughout. Every single part of this car's design revolves around keeping things low weight, including recycled material for the doors, thin seat backs, super thin all-season weather mats, manual seats, no rear air vents, and bench seats for two. Yes, the rear-only seats too, thanks to the middle section being used as cup holders. Since there's no middle B-pillar, the driver's seatbelt attaches to the rear door, which means that in order to let a passenger in the car, the driver must almost always get out, or at the very least remove their seatbelt. Also, while it might look like a clown car, the i3 can easily fit 4 adults around 6 feet tall each, but say goodbye to your electric range, cause all that extra weight. There's no sunroof, the rear view mirror is even small in size, likely for weight saving, and notice the ultra lightweight and futuristic bamboo material in the dash along with the cool floating screen. You'll also notice there's no center gear shifter, instead you have your infotainment controls and a cup holder. You'll find your gear selector right behind the steering wheel on this little column thingy where you rotate once ahead for drive, back once for neutral, and once again for reverse, and there's a park button on top along with a start and stop button facing the driver. As I mentioned earlier, this car is designed to be super lightweight, and this really shows with the super thin and mid-grade door panel material and the leather used on the seats. Although it feels good on the hand, the material used in the regular BMWs feels a little bit more better, in my opinion. Probably because it's thicker, and thicker means more weight. Now, as far as visibility goes in the cabin, the windows are massive. There's so much light, it's almost like a nice studio apartment in here. There's no blind spots. There's no reason to have to install any additional blind spot monitoring systems. Just turn your head, and you can see everything. In addition to that, the car is no slouch on the road. It picks up to higher speeds than you should be going at, and even its pick up and go, its torque is instantaneous. And I find that it's really good in 30 km/h bursts, so if you're going 30, you can go to 60 really quickly. If you're going 60, you go to 90 really quickly, but going from 0 to 60 or 0 to 90 is a little bit slower. Regenerative braking system kicks in. You can come to a complete standstill if you just take your foot off the gas with enough road ahead of you, which is the best way to do it because you prolong the life of your brakes while recharging your battery. Additionally, the turn radius on this thing is phenomenal. You get to make a complete U-turn in almost 2 lanes space without touching the shoulder like I did here. And in a nutshell, guys, what I can say about this car is get out there and test drive it. Go to your local BMW dealership that carries the i-Series vehicles and ask them for a test drive. You'll see exactly what the hype is about. No, it's not a Tesla, but it's the poor man's Tesla. And it comes in at a really good price point, has a lot of rebates in Ontario, can handle the winter, and all in all, I think it's a great car. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this series of the i3's videos. There are 3 more videos. If you haven't checked them out, make sure you do so. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.